Hello, my name is Glenn Brandon. It's with the pleasure that I have the opportunity to serve here as the superintendent of the Acton-Boxborough Regional School District. And I have with me Mr. J.D. Head, who's our Director of Facilities and Maintenance and Transportation for the district. And within the next few minutes, we wanted to explore the capital study and the capital work, the important capital work that's ongoing here in the district. And there's no better expert on all of these matters than J.D. And so we would intend to take a few minutes just to provide our viewers with a bit of an overview around where the district's at this this important juncture. Hi, J.D.
Hi, Glenn. We're certainly excited to have this opportunity to discuss the capital plan, the existing condition study, and the Phase 2 educational visioning feasibility plan for the district.
J.D., for those that even if they've lived in town for a little bit of time, they've had kids go through the school system, can you give a bit of an overview of sort of the magnitude of the district in terms of buildings and size and the like?
Sure. The district is very unique in that it's a regional school district. There's only a handful in Massachusetts in the Commonwealth, and what that means is the district itself has responsibility for all of its maintenance and purchasing and capital, etc. What we have here in Acton and Boxborough is the municipal side of business that represents about 75% of the entire Acton and Boxborough carbon footprint. In that, there's about 900,000 square footage of building space and about 140 acres of property that we maintain on a daily basis and for the long term.
So the last time, to your knowledge, that a capital study really trying to take a detailed look at our buildings, when was that last done?
That was performed in the late 90s by the office of Michael Rosenfeld, and that led to the high school, junior high school, and Parker Damon building projects that all commenced around 1998, and that phase of building projects finished around 2004.
So the question I know sometimes has been asked is why now? So why the district obviously has, through the current fiscal year budget, as you know, dedicated a significant amount of resources to support this study. If the question were asked is why now, why are we sort of at this point?
Well, we're 20 years roughly beyond the last time we've taken this effort on. We are experiencing a dip in enrollment. We're about to hit the bottom of our trough, if you will. If you think of our enrollment as an S-curve going up and down over time, we're about to enter into the valley of one of those waves, which is a great time to look at and reassess your facilities, how we use them, as well as their standing and functionality as they're being used currently. So this first phase, the existing condition study, gives us a nice clear roadmap with regards to how what our top capital priorities are, our major liabilities, and is it feasible to take those efforts on of repairing these high cost items. And it's just a matter of trying to do the most responsible thing by our constituents, the community members of Acton and Boxborough.
I know that as you do, that there are, this type of activity certainly is underway in lots of different districts throughout the state, and perhaps like other states, Massachusetts has a pretty strong buildings program that helps support public entities, specifically around the schools. There's a lot of different firms, or a few different firms maybe out there that do the work, and we selected, of course, Dorr & Whittier. Just for the viewers, can you explain a little bit about that process that we went through?
Sure.
And how do we select them?
We actually had a very robust selection process. We solicited requisitions or requests for proposals from qualified architectural firms. We received several responses. We formed a committee made up of yourself and our finance director, as well as 3 members of our school committee, and interviewed the 5 most highly ranked firms based on the proposals that they delivered to us. And in those interview processes and discussion amongst the selection group, we settled on Doran Whittier, who is a long-standing firm based out of Burlington, Vermont, and Newburyport, Massachusetts. And they've done several of projects like this and continue to work in communities near us on a regular basis.
So just for the viewers, where we're at as we move quickly towards the month of February, just an update on where Doran Whittier's work on this first phase, as we've called it, or existing condition study is at?
Sure. Doran Whittier delivered to the district about 4 weeks ago a rough draft of the existing condition study. We reviewed that. The senior leadership team in the district reviewed it. So the building-based documents really focused on their buildings, as well as the facility staff looking at it comprehensively from a district lens. We provided feedback to them. They've made some edits, and we expect in the next day or two to receive their first draft of cost estimates as well as priorities on the associated liabilities that they identified in that study.
And
it's
so,
about a
sorry.
250-page document. It's very thorough, and it's a very comprehensive look at all of our buildings and grounds.
So I believe we're still on course for the February 4th school committee meeting for folks that might be interested to watch their presentation, Doran Whittier's presentation of that full report. We're anticipating
Absolutely.
that. Obviously, very much related to this is what we've termed Phase 2 and this more broad educational study. And at the school committee meeting on January the 14th, as you know, the request was made to try and get going with that second phase of the study sooner than originally anticipated, and that is not to wait until July 1st to use all of FY17 funds if the school committee supports it, but to be able to utilize some unused fringe benefit money in our current fiscal year. Just briefly an overview of how and what this Phase 2 study is all about, and how will that complement Phase 1?
Well, Phase 2 really looks at the educational visioning of the district moving forward. How our buildings, as they currently stand, can really become, or not, 21st century learning spaces for our students, so that we can give our students every opportunity to succeed in kind of a current world. You'll notice from one of our slides from Doran Whittier, they display kind of a red, yellow, green approach, looking at the capacity of our buildings as they stand right now, and keep in mind we're in a declining enrollment world right now.
Right.
So even with declining enrollment, you'll see that multiple buildings are either red or approaching red, which means they're over capacity for today's standards, according to Massachusetts School Building Authority guidelines.
Right, MSBA, sure.
And MSBA plays a very important role in this, because we certainly would like for them to support our projects. And that reason being is because they'll fund approximately 48% of any kind of building cost. So we certainly want to do the best by our constituents and make sure we try and access every bit of outside funding sources we can. So MSBA is really important in that role. Certainly school buildings like Douglas is by far and away the largest in the red, which means it's over capacity. Conant and Gates are approaching, if not there. And you'll notice that the buildings that have either been renovated or constructed new over in that last phase of building projects are either green or maybe in some ways hovering around yellow. And that's not to be surprising. They were built under MSBA guidelines just 10 years ago, or renovated just 10 years ago, so they're much more current in that regard. So it's a great time to look at our facilities, how we use our facilities, all of our programming, and develop a roadmap for the future so that we can just really try and move forward this district over the next 20-25 year cycle.
It's a great point. I know you've heard this in my short time. There's a great interest amongst our town leaders to have clarity around what the school district's capital needs might be, and certainly as we know, this will take us a long path, a long way down that path, and the excitement to have what I seem to, I think, sense out there from this phase 2 work that's been done in other districts is really having a district master plan
Right.
that provides sort of that roadmap, like I think you talked about going forward. The timeline for the completion of this phase 2 study in totality should be around the fall of 2016.
That's correct.
Without any glitches. So a lot of intense work over this time period, but important work,
Right.
as you certainly say. The involvement of the administration, of course, has been paramount to this. You mentioned the school committee earlier, and just for the viewers to bring to their attention, the school committee has approved the creation of a school capital and space planning committee, complementary in many respects to this work. That committee includes Mr. Head, myself, school committee representatives, as well as 2 representatives, respectively, from the Acton and Boxborough FinCom. That will help really start to dig in and track and follow these reports and where we might go as a district moving forward. Just also bring to the attention of the viewers that very soon off of our district website will be an effort to try and start to bring together these various reports for those that might be interested in more closely following the capital needs of the district, and so you can certainly look for that soon.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting time to work with, as you said, community leaders,
Right.
as well as students and staff members, as we try and put this master planning document together.
Right. Thanks, JD, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.